Welcome to How to Use Crowdfunding to Finance Your Small Business by Dr. Melissa Cohen. Welcome to Module 2, Setting Up Your Technology. So the objectives of this module are basically we're going to take a look at setting up the technology platforms for your business and your crowdfunding platform, looking at creating a website, creating an email account, creating a social media account, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. And also just to go over the importance of capturing all the email addresses you can. So why do you need a website and some email for a crowdfunding project? Well, just to let you know, first of all, the internet platforms, which are basically the websites like Kickstarter and Indiegogo, they require it. Also, by having a website and an email, it does create business legitimacy, but basically that means you're a real business, right? You have a website, you have an email, you have a social media account, you actually have a business. And another reason why is because a website, your email address, and your social media, they're basically your communication tools. And since crowdfunding is an online social media, and it relies on social media to connect with people you do not know, you have to have a website and email and some of these communication tools to help you reach these potential funders. And that just goes into the last bullet point there. Crowdfunding uses social media to connect with potential funders. Therefore, your potential funders are using these same channels. So when we talk about marketing and if you do any basic marketing, the 4 P's of marketing, and one is promotion and place. So basically place means where can you sell your product, and right now you're selling your product online, so therefore you have to be connected online as well. So before we go into looking at creating a website, I just want to let you know I'm not actually specifically going into in this module how to create a website and how to set that up and how to set up an email address. I'm just going to go over a brief overview because you may already have these things set up for your business and therefore none of this information is relevant to you. Or you may need to do further research on your own. And honestly, there are so many specific classes on how to set up a website that can be another 2 to 100 hours classes. I'm not going to go into that because that's not my specialty and that's not my forte. And, I can probably refer you to some good either free classes or paid classes to help you set this information up. Or you can pay someone to do that for you as well. So that is an option. But I just want to go over the technology and the things that you need and obviously the reasons why you need those for this crowdfunding campaign and for your business as well. So first, now that we're going into creating a website. So basically, I'm not endorsing any of these products. I'm not getting paid for any of these products or anything, but I am just saying that these are 2 website platforms that I have personally used. And I've used GoDaddy.com and I've used WordPress.com. So I can, give you a little bit more information about each of these, like on offsite here, but as I said before, no one's paying me. I'm not getting paid to do it. I'm not really 100% endorsing it, but I'm just telling you that I do know that you can do it. It does take some time to learn how to do it as well. So just be aware of that you got to fit that in your busy entrepreneurial schedule as well. So just know that you can use any website platform that you would like. So as I mentioned, I don't tell you how to set one up in this course and in this module, but I will tell you though, there's 2 things. You must purchase your website domain name and an ongoing website hosting. So your website domain name is like your www dot, and in my case, you have smartandsassybusiness.com. So you actually have to yearly purchase that domain name. So smartandsassybusiness.com. And then I have to pay for an ongoing website hosting. So usually it can be a monthly fee or an annual fee, maybe about $100 annual fee, I think. And that is, they're providing you basically the software to actually create your website. So what does it look like? Do you have any templates you can use? Now, both of these companies, at GoDaddy and WordPress, they do both. Both companies do both. But there are, as I mentioned before, there's probably 1,000 different companies you can use as well to do these two things for. And as I mentioned, you can learn to do this on your own, or you can hire someone to create a website for you. So just some basic information about, well, okay, this is great. I'm going to create my own website content. What should I put in there? Well, here's some suggested basic information. And it's a little bit specific towards your crowdfunding project. So you need a company description. So, and then that kind of rolls into your company services and products that are available to the public, or you're hoping to sell to the public. So first of all, your company description, like that's what's your personal story, why are you interested in your business, like how did it get started, where did you get the idea from, did you have any motivation, specific factors that motivated you to create this business. So you want to put that information in there as well, because whether you're doing a business on your own and also with a crowdfunding project, you got to make it personal. You just can't say, well, I want to do this because of this, or this is what I'm selling, buy it. Nobody necessarily wants that when you're a startup company. A lot of people, you buy from friends, and you buy from people you know, and you buy from people you like, or there's some sort of connection there. So through the company description, you want to create that. It can be called about, it can be my story, it can be biography. You can label that page, usually any of those items is what you see. So the second bullet point, we're going to look at your company services and your products that are available to the public, or you want to hope to sell to the public. So if you are just kicking off your business and with this crowdfunding campaign, you don't actually have anything to sell yet, but you want to tell your company services and products that you are hoping to sell. So say you have a great idea, ABC idea, you want to get it off the ground, you have met with the manufacturer, they've given you a quote of X amount of dollars for 2,000 units, and you've developed this with the help of your children because they thought it was great, and you did a mini market research with the other kids in your neighborhood, blah 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 blah. So here's some pictures of it, here's some renderings of it. I'm going to launch a crowdfunding campaign in 1 month, and I need everyone to contribute. I'm going to sell it at a discount rate to the first people who want to contribute to my crowdfunding project, blah blah blah. And then give a description of what the products are. The kids loved it. If you have little testimonials, little videos, obviously you have to get parental permission to put anything with the kid's face and name and such on your website. But I'm just using that as an example. So you basically want to hype it up, personalize it as much, why your kids loved it, why the other kids loved it, how it can help the public, right? What need does it serve? Why would people want it? That sort of thing. What makes it different from other products on the market? All right. So moving on here, and that probably should be like your first page, especially if you don't have any products yet and you are totally kicking off with this crowdfunding campaign. Your company services and products should be your whole first page there. Okay. So moving on, your business contact information. So this is information about how they can reach you. So obviously your website is one avenue. If you have any social media accounts that you're going to set up, once you set them up, be sure to come back to this page and link that on there. So when someone comes to your site and they say, oh, well, this person's on Facebook, and they can just hit a Facebook button and be connected to your Facebook. And you have to think of, well, what contact information do you have? So as far as if you're a solopreneur or an entrepreneur working from home, and you actually don't have a business address or a business phone number, just be thoughtful of what information you want to put on your website. One option you can do is just go to either your United States Postal Service or some of these other businesses and just pay for a rental box if that's something that you feel comfortable with. Or you can just say what if you're I'm in the greater Nashville area, so I'm not giving you a specific address, but I'm telling you, that's where I'm home based at. Yeah, and so if you have social media on there, obviously an email account you need to put on there as well. And we'll talk about email in just a few minutes. You also need another page of contacts or contact us. You'll see that a lot. So basically you need to put a contact form in there to capture email addresses. So if you want to say, if you're interested in learning about our crowdfunding campaign, or if you want to say, if you're interested in learning about our business, please fill out your email address here and we'll keep you up to date with all the latest information. Now, at this point, you need to decide, are you going to do a monthly newsletter? Are you just going to contact them about the crowdfunding campaign? And you need to put that information about what you're going to do and how often you're going to contact someone. And then last and most important to us is information about the crowdfunding project. Obviously, you want to put this on the first page as well. So if you want to do a countdown, you want to tell people, hey, in 30 days or on January the 1st, we're going to start this crowdfunding campaign. I'm going to try to raise $10,000. I need your help. I need you to help me, blah, blah, blah. This is what I'm doing, blah, 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 blah. So, you want to hype that up as well on your website. Now, moving on, we're looking at creating an email account. So there's a lot of free accounts out there as well. So we're going to go to the first column here, and you can use a website domain. So say you go to GoDaddy.com or WordPress.com, they work with other companies or other softwares integrated where you can actually have a website with or an email address with your website domain name. So the example would be, I can go, so my website is smartandsassybusiness.com. So I could have it set up where I say contact Melissa at smartandsassybusiness.com. Now it's usually an additional fee. So if you can or cannot do that, that's your option. I don't know from a business standpoint at this point if it looks bad or not. I don't really think so. If you have a Gmail account instead for your business, I think that's totally acceptable and totally fine at this point as an entrepreneur. Now on the second column, you can create the free email account. And as I mentioned before, you go to gmail.com, hotmail.com. There's obviously thousands of servers out there that are available, but obviously these are one of the more popular ones. Yahoo, usually through, if you've got a cable service, they may offer a free email account as well. Sometimes alumni associations from colleges offer email accounts. There's just a lot of options. So then you would do your name at gmail.com. So one thing you could do, and I'll give you an example, is I could do smartandsassybusiness at gmail.com. And just to let you know, I've already set that up, so you cannot take that account. You can also do Melissa at gmail.com. Obviously, if it's available, I'm sure Melissa at gmail.com was taken a decade ago, but that's an option as well. But so also, it's fairly simple to create an email account and have it set up. Now, if you've not used email and you've not used it regularly, you do have to spend a little bit of time familiarizing yourself with the email account, how to set it up, how to organize folders, things like that. Now moving on, the next step is, what social media do I need? So social media can include Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. There's an endless amount of options at this point. There will always be more options coming up in the future too. So remember that these are optional, but you may want to explore adding at least one of these to your business, into your business account. And I'm going to just tell you from a personal standpoint, like if you're a solopreneur, which means a one-person job running a company at this point, you're going to spend all day long just updating Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and all these accounts. So just use one, maybe two, and choose the one that you're most familiar with. And choose one that's probably going to be where your core customer is located at. Okay, so moving on here, so we want to look at Facebook. It's primarily your personal networks, right? But it does include businesses and interest groups. So I'll just let you know, I like to do some crafting as a hobby, or I like to think that I like to do crafting. So I do have a few businesses that are on my Facebook account, and I do have interest groups that are on my account. So free information interest groups. So you also have to think about, do you want to join those? Do you even want to create your own interest group and be the moderator of that? Or do you want to create a business account on Facebook as well? Or do you just want to use your personal Facebook account to market your business? So you do have to look at, kind of what, everybody has different reasons for using Facebook and such, and you just have to make your own personal decision of, does that fit or not? Okay, now going on, we have Instagram. So just know that Instagram is photo driven, and it also relies on personal networks. So I do see a lot of Instagram accounts for people selling clothing, because if they'll be wearing the clothing. Obviously traveling, any travel ideas there, anything that's very photo driven. And also just to know that LinkedIn is primarily a business network social media. So if you are not in the business professional world by any means, don't even step into this realm. It's not going to be applicable to you. But obviously, if you've been in a corporate job and such, LinkedIn, you probably do have some LinkedIn accounts. If you've been in a sales role, you probably have a LinkedIn account. And that's going to help you connect to other business contacts. And it's not a sales site either, so just be aware of that you do on this site, it's primarily socially accepted that you are actually trying to help others versus sell products to them specifically. And also note here, I don't have a bullet point on the slide, that you can connect these social media all to your website. And then you can also, for instance, if you post something on Facebook, you can have it set up where it automatically posts on Instagram and maybe even Twitter. I don't remember all the specifics now. So that you're not actually doing the same thing, you're posting the same thing at 3 different sites. You can have it set up so that you post at one site and then it feeds into your other 3 as well. So if you are considering that, I'm just going to throw that out there, that you need to do your own research and figure out how to do that as well. So social media accounts here, just to go over a couple little tips and information here. As I mentioned before, don't worry about setting up a business account for each avenue, for each social media. It's too much for one person to handle and to learn all that up front too, because one, they've got all these little intricacy things as well. You may also choose one to help communicate with your friends and potential funders. So remember, the purpose of this social media account for your crowdfunding project is to connect with future customers and future funders that are online, that are looking for crowdfunding projects, that are looking for small businesses to help and to be the newest technology out there and the latest products. Okay. And one more thing to reiterate here is use a social media platform that you are already familiar with. So use this as your primary communication tool, and this will also allow others to share information about your crowdfunding project. So if your friend Susie has kids in her society, in her network, in her personal network, she may see your crowdfunding project and then forward it on to friends within her network or another interest group, and then from there you want it to go viral, where people just keep sharing it. People you don't know keep sharing it to people you still don't know, and hopefully to your target market that want to help you. Now, one of the most important things that I learned by talking to these successful crowdfunding business owners when I did my doctoral thesis project was to get every email that you can. So gather every email. So even if you're on Facebook and people are connected to you, figure out a way to get their email addresses. if you are on different social media accounts, figure out a way to get your email address. And what that does is, first of all, when you go and you use a Facebook account or a LinkedIn account or a Instagram or Twitter account, you don't own that. So if for some reason you end up violating the terms of services of one of these social media accounts and you've got 2,000 friends on there and you violate something, or you get reported for violating something, they will shut your account down. And guess what? You have no way to communicate with your potential funders. So if you gather their email address, you have that information and that belongs to you. So I'll just put that out there. I've seen a couple instances where someone on LinkedIn got reported for a business got reported for using a copyrighted photo, and so basically that LinkedIn shut their corporate account down until it was researched. Now this person had a email constantly. He had spent hundreds of dollars every year doing advertisements with LinkedIn and such, and then all of a sudden, literally overnight, his business is shut down. He cannot communicate with anybody, and all that money he spent wasted on marketing is gone. And I think even trying to reach someone and to tell them that you do have the copyright for the photo still took a couple of weeks. And guess what? You're just out of business for a couple of weeks. And guess what? If you are an entrepreneur and that's how you make your money, and now you're not working for a couple of weeks and then you're not getting paid for a couple of weeks, that's a big deal. So when I say gather every email, you gather it and you keep it in your own personal list as well. And I also go to the second point is when you need to gather your email address, especially you talk up this crowdfunding project, because like I said, it's a financing project, but it's also a marketing project. If you are standing in line at the grocery store and there are 5 people in front of you, you have plenty of time to give a 30-second elevator speech about your crowdfunding project and maybe just a chat up with someone. Or if you're in the doctor's office or things like that. So make sure that you are trying to gather everybody. And if you can't really gather their email address, especially if they're not interested, that's okay. But you can tell them about your Facebook. Say, oh yeah, you can go on Facebook. Look me up under ABC Company. You can find me there. And I've got all my information up there. So also, once you gather your email addresses, whether you're networking at professional organizations or such, and you're swapping business cards, add the email addresses to your list. And make sure you put in a database. If you don't know what a database is, basically, you can also keep a list in a Word document, or sometimes a contact section in your email software will let you store email addresses, or even in your email account. And as I mentioned before, you can Google how to do that or find someone to help you how to do that as well for each software. Now, so as we're coming to the end of this module here, we talked about a little bit about everything, but not in detail about anything about the technology here. So I'm just going to give you a few action items. So you need to create a website. So find an account, a server, a hosting server. Find a domain name that's not been used, that's not going to infringe upon somebody else. I would say keep it to a .com instead of these there's 1,000 different versions now. So I would find something that's relevant to your business and says .com. You need to make sure you have an email account. You need to open at least one social media page, and then also, as I mentioned, start gathering every email address that you can, and keep a list of that for you, a running list. So, thank you. That brings us to the end of Module 2. Sorry, I don't know why I keep having problems with that. That brings us to the end of Module 2, setting up your technology. So definitely spend some time doing this. If you need help, reach out to maybe someone you know, and reach out to me. Maybe I can help you find some resources that will help you as well. Thank you.